The two new best teams in the West set to do battle from the Mile High. Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies taking on Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. In the first, the Joker putting the ball on the ground. He doesn't do it often, but when he does, oftentimes very effective. Jokic going to work, spinning on Steven Adams and leaving with a bucket. This time around, Jokic's pass is going to get tipped. But when you're so good and you're the reigning 2-time MVP, it still gets to guys that you want to pass it to. Look at Ja Morant. He got a fingertip on that bad boy. You already know what was going to happen if he got that rock. He was taking that the distance. Probably a little bit like this. Uncle Jeff Green still getting it done in his mid to late 30s. Uncle Jeff taking off and finishing. If he gets in the air before the defender gets in the air, it's over. Still to this day. Bruce Brown goes and one. Denver taking off on Memphis in the second quarter. Bruce Brown going and getting him a deuce. Look at this vision from Nikola Jokic, who had his 82nd career triple-double in this basketball game. Look at Jokic just putting on a show with unreal passes. He's going from quarterback to center. Jokic just diming it up every which way. That one to Aaron Gordon. The Nuggets are up 14. Jokic had 13 points, 13 rebounds, 13 assists. You knew Memphis was going to try to fight back in this one. Ja Morant had some fight in him in the third. He blows past Jokic and then pulls a three in the grill of the MVP. Memphis cuts the deficit down to 10. But when it's winning time, too many threes and too many Ds. And when I mean Ds, I mean dunks from the Denver Nuggets. Aaron Gordon for three. Jeff Green, another dunk. And then this time around, Gordon's like, I'll have some of what Unk's having. The Memphis Grizzlies fall to the Denver Nuggets 105-91 despite 35 points from Morant. Aaron Gordon had 24. Nuggets improved to 19-11 on the season. Before the great content with Hoops FERRO continues, please make sure you're subscribing to this YouTube channel at Hoops FERRO. Our goal is 100,000 subscribers ASAP. Your subscription takes this platform to the next level. Subscribe now. Well, recently, Ja Morant did an interview with Malika Andrews, and he was asked, who do you look at around the league as you are studying and say, we are going to have to run through them? Ja's answer was the Celtics, but his answer was also, I'm fine in the West, when asked, who do you look at in the Western Conference? So he's saying he's not worried about anybody in the West. The only team that his Memphis Grizzlies are really, watching and keying in on, according to him, is the Boston Celtics. That's a ridiculous thing to say, by the way. Just a ridiculous thing. What I've learned about Ja Morant, I know some people in Memphis, all right? Let's just say that. I know some things, all right? I'll leave it at that. Y'all know your boy FERRO. I keep it solid, all right? Ja Morant is a ladies' man when it comes to these reporters. If you noticed, he says the dumbest things when he's interviewed by Taylor Rooks or Malika Andrews. These are both beautiful women, all right? Let me just say that real quick. Let me get the elephant out of the room. These are beautiful women that, if you put a microphone in front of me, I might start to start saying stuff. These are beautiful women, and I'm married, all right? Ja Morant is saying dumb stuff in these interviews with these women. And it might be because he just likes doing interviews with women, right? I'm taking a different angle at this than most people would. This is dumb. This is a dumb thing to say from your leader. He's still very young. Y'all know I believe Ja Morant is a phenomenal talent. With the microphone in his hand, not as much as a talent as he is on the court. All right, when he talks, I get scared. I'm gonna be honest with you. When Ja Morant speaks, I get scared. Him saying that there's nobody in the Western Conference that the Memphis Grizzlies are really concerned about, pretty much is what he said. It's beyond me. It's beyond me for a lot of reasons. Number one, the Memphis Grizzlies didn't win the Western Conference in the regular season last year. All right, the Phoenix Suns did. Number two, the Memphis Grizzlies didn't win the West in the playoffs last year. The Golden State Warriors did. As a matter of fact, speaking of Golden State, the Grizzlies didn't even get to the conference finals last year because they got beat by the Golden State Warriors in the second round. Now, I'll give you this. They were clear as day the team that had the Warriors stressing more than anybody else. I'll give you that. But for Ja to say that the Grizzlies are not focused on anybody out west when he got injured and probably is the reason why Memphis didn't get out of the West is ridiculous. And I think it's fair to say, to bring up Ja Morant's injury, because he's so athletic, it can happen again what happened to him in the playoffs. Like, this doesn't have to be a one-off. Hopefully the brother never has an injury. I love seeing Ja Morant play basketball. Probably one of the funnest watches in league history. But the reason why Memphis didn't advance, a lot of people would argue, is because Ja went down. Now, I don't believe Memphis was going to beat the Warriors last year, even with a healthy Ja Morant. I think that bad boy was going 7 games, and I probably would have gave the Warriors, because of their experience, the slight edge in Game 7. But we didn't get that because Ja went down, and that series was pretty much over after that. Dylan Brooks was shooting into I don't know what the heck was going on. He couldn't buy a shot last year. He's been playing better ball of late. By the way, this year he's been pretty good. Memphis, I do believe this, though. Memphis could use 1 or 2 more vets in their locker room. I'm talking about somebody that's already hung their boots up, already retired, Ray Allen. I know Ray's like 45 now, but the Grizzlies, for nothing else, could use a Vince Carter back in that Grizzlies locker room. Somebody like that. I'm talking about somebody who's long gone that wants to just try to get one more ring, who's not concerned about making the Hall of Fame in the next 4 or 5 years. The Memphis Grizzlies need a couple more vets, guys that were that guy. You need 1 or 2 of those guys that used to be the guy, I believe, around Ja Morant. I don't think I don't think his career was great enough to get in the ear of Ja Morant. You need a Vince Carter, a Ray Allen, somebody that Ja Morant knew was that dude in that locker room with Memphis as a vet to kind of talk him through some of these things, like saying comments like that. Because as great as the Memphis Grizzlies are, they're one of the few regular season teams that will show up for anybody in the regular season. Like, they will play hard against anybody. It is not a clear-cut thing that Memphis is getting out of the West for a multitude of reasons. Number one, these Clippers, I know they've been unhealthy. Somebody got to deal with them in the playoffs. The Denver Nuggets that the Grizzlies just lost to badly. You're going to have to see them in the playoffs. Phoenix still around. There are a multitude of teams out west where I don't believe the right answer should be, we ain't worried about anybody. Love the confidence, but maybe the wrong answer to give, even if you're thinking it.